The world rewards the one who carries conviction, not the one who waits for permission. When you move as if success is already yours, hesitation dies and doors open. Confidence shifts reality because belief precedes proof. The shift happens when your actions stop asking and start declaring. Walk, speak, and build as if nothing can deny you. In a few moments, I will teach you how to act with unshakable belief, like success already belongs to you. You become what you believe you already are. You don't become successful by waiting to feel ready. You become successful by deciding that you already are. The world mirrors your posture. If you act timid, it will treat you as weak. But if you walk with certainty, if your shoulders carry belief, the world moves aside. People often say, I'll act confident once I get results, but that's not how it works. The results follow the behavior, not the other way around. Life listens not to your wishes, but to your demonstration. And when you act as if it's already yours, with humility, yes, but also with boldness, you start to attract exactly what matches that attitude. You do this by controlling one thing, your posture. The way you stand, the tone of your voice, the way you begin a task, not as a beggar, but as a builder who knows the structure will rise because his hands have chosen to shape it. Imagine a man applying for a job. One man walks in timidly, speaking as if he hopes he might possibly do the role. Another walks in and speaks as if he already belongs to the company's future. Who do they hire, you might say, but I'm afraid I'll look arrogant. No, you'll look decisive. The world is hungry for people who claim space without apology. So let me ask you, what would change in your walk, your talk, your habits if you already had the success you seek? Would you still hesitate? Would you still wait for permission? Stop asking to be chosen. Start behaving as if you've already earned your seat. Because when you act as if it's already yours, something inside you shifts. The world feels it, and little by little, it becomes true. Certainty is built, not found. You keep waiting to feel certain, but certainty isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you decide to build. One small step at a time. The man who acts with confidence isn't always right, but he gets farther than the one who keeps doubting every move. Certainty is not loud, it's not arrogance, it's quiet, solid, rooted. It's that internal nod that says, I may not know everything, but I know I will learn what I need. You don't wait for full clarity. You act, and clarity meets you on the way. You create certainty by doing what others fear, beginning without proof, trying before you're ready, speaking before you're sure they'll clap. That's how you build faith, in yourself, in your process, in the unseen path ahead. Think of the young farmer planting in dry soil. There's no guarantee of rain, no certainty of harvest, but he plants anyway, not because he knows the future, but because he believes in what he's doing. That's how you grow, not by sitting with doubt, but by stacking daily acts of commitment. Each one becomes a brick. Each brick builds belief. You may ask, but what if I make a mistake? Let me ask you back. What if staying still is the greatest mistake of all? Certainty doesn't strike like lightning. It rises like the sun slowly with each morning you decide to keep going. So start, move, trust, and let the fire in your bones be louder than the fear in your head. Identity comes before results. You keep chasing outcomes, but outcomes are just shadows of identity. You don't get success by accident. You shape it by who you become. And who you become is decided by what you believe about yourself before you have anything to show. If you still think like the old version of yourself, you will sabotage every blessing meant for the new you. That's why you must act now as if the transformation is already done. Speak with the voice of the man who has already conquered his doubt. Walk with the discipline of the woman who already owns her destiny. The identity must come first, because every action flows from it. Imagine a craftsman who still sees himself as an amateur. Every brush stroke, every cut, every idea is filled with hesitation. But now imagine he believes that he is a master. His hands move differently. His eyes spot detail. His work rises to match the identity. So ask yourself, what would the future you do right now? What would he say no to? How would she spend her time? But here's the truth. You don't need anyone's permission to start embodying that version. You simply decide. You cannot outperform your self-image. So stop trying to achieve your way into confidence. Instead, choose to live like you already are the person worthy of those results, and the results will follow. Results follow ritual, not emotion. Every day you wake up with a choice. Do you follow how you feel, or do you follow your ritual? The man who waits for motivation will always be a servant to his emotions. But the man who builds a ritual, who does what needs to be done whether or not he feels like it, becomes unstoppable. Success does not respond to feelings. It responds to rhythm. If you move only when it's easy, you'll live a life of gaps. Gaps in progress, gaps in confidence, gaps in greatness. But when you build a sacred morning habit, a quiet, consistent rhythm, you send a message to yourself and to the universe. I am serious, even when no one claps, even when no one sees. Imagine a woman who rises every day at dawn. No applause, no crowd, just her, a notebook, a plan, a small step. And day by day, her power grows, not because of one dramatic moment, but because she showed up. Now ask yourself, what would change in your life if you treated your ritual like it was law? You may say, but I feel tired. I say, build the rhythm and your energy will catch up. Don't wait for inspiration. Let ritual carry you when emotion fails, because the ones who win don't do it by chance. They do it by rhythm. Every single day, you must speak as if it's done. Your words shape your world, not just in sentiment, but in structure. Every sentence you speak is a blueprint for what your life becomes. Whisper fear, and fear grows stronger. Speak power, and strength starts to move in your bones. This isn't some mystical theory. It's a principle woven into the human mind. Your subconscious listens. It obeys not what you hope for, but what you command. And most people never realize how many doors they lock each morning by simply saying the wrong things. They say things like, maybe one day, or I'm trying. But trying is just a polite way of saying, I don't fully believe yet. And when you don't believe, why should the world, why should opportunity bow to uncertainty? You must speak as if your vision is real. Speak not from your current position, but from your destined position. Not as a beggar hoping to be noticed, but as a leader setting the terms of your life. You say, this is who I am. You say, this is what I do, even if no one is watching. Even if the bank account disagrees. Even if the results haven't caught up yet, because speaking it is how you make room for it. The words are the soil and belief is the water. The moment you say it with certainty, your mind begins to stretch, your posture shifts, your behavior follows. Picture a man standing in front of barren land. There's no proof, no sign, no applause, but he says, here, I will build. And because he speaks with conviction, others begin to gather. They ask questions, they offer help, not because the land changed, but because his words revealed something invisible, belief, certainty, direction. The same is true for you. If you've been speaking in doubt, you've been shrinking your own path. But you can reverse it right now. You don't need a bigger platform. You need a stronger voice, not louder, clearer. Say, I am becoming disciplined. Say, I am the kind of person who finishes. Say, this dream is already mine. I'm just walking toward it. Because when your words align with your vision, your actions begin to follow. And when your actions follow consistently, your results catch up. Not by accident, but by design. And the design started with your mouth. So speak with force, speak with dignity, speak not to impress others, but to ignite yourself. The world listens more carefully to the man who speaks with quiet confidence than the one who screams for attention. Say less, but say it with certainty. You're not just talking, you're setting bricks, building belief, framing your future. So don't just speak about your life, speak into it with power, with clarity, with the unshakable tone of someone who already knows. It's not a question of if, it's only a matter of when. Your actions must match your ambitions. It's easy to dream big, to let the fire burn in your chest while you speak of goals, empires, and a life far greater than the one you're living now. But dreams, for all their beauty, mean absolutely nothing if your actions contradict them. You cannot claim to want excellence and live like you expect pity. You cannot speak of wealth while practicing the habits that ensure struggle. The world is full of dreamers, but very few doers. And in the end, only one group gets remembered. If your vision is grand, your behavior must be sharp, precise, relentless. Because the world isn't listening to what you say, it's watching what you do. You must walk like your future depends on each step, because it does. No one builds a throne by pacing around in circles. No one earns respect by rehearsing the same excuses. If you want something great, your daily life must begin to reflect it, not tomorrow, now. Too many people speak of ambition as if that alone is virtue, but ambition without discipline is a lie you tell yourself to feel better. You say you want to lead, but you still need to be told what to do. You say you want to rise, but your alarm gets snoozed 3 times before you even open your eyes. This is not ambition. This is fantasy, the kind that keeps you comfortable while your real potential starves to death in silence. Picture a man who wants to become a great writer. He's got the shelves of classic books. He's bought the finest notebooks and pens. He's told everyone about the story burning inside him. But each day, he avoids the blank page. He does everything except the one thing that actually makes him a writer. And so, despite all the appearances, he remains exactly what he is, a man with a dream, not a destiny. So ask yourself honestly, if someone were to film your life for a week, without your voice, without your explanations, would they believe in the future you say you want? Would your habits convince them? Would your effort inspire them? And if not, then it's time to change. But I'm still learning, you say. That's fine. But learning alone is not transformation. You must apply. You must execute. A messy action beats a perfect idea that never touches the ground. A failed attempt teaches more than 1,000 unread pages. Match your behavior to your destiny, not just when it's easy, not just when it's visible. Make your habits sacred. Hold your time like a weapon. Do what must be done in silence, without applause, because success isn't and systems are built in the small hours with invisible choices. If your actions stay small, your life will too. Speak less, prove more, and make every day a brick in the foundation of the life you refuse to leave to chance. Confidence grows in the doing. Confidence is not discovered in stillness or summoned by mere thought. It is forged in movement, raw, repetitive, unglamorous motion. You do not become confident by sitting in a quiet room and convincing yourself of your worth. You become confident when you stand up and do something that proves it, not to others, but to yourself. Confidence is not whispered into your soul. It is carved into your character, blow by blow, action by action, until the proof becomes undeniable. You see this in a child who is learning to walk. That child does not wait for perfect balance. He does not plan or hesitate, wondering if he'll fall. He moves, he stumbles, he falls, he cries, but he gets back up. And in doing that, in risking failure and rising again, confidence begins to grow. That is where strength is born, not in comfort, not in perfect readiness, but in courageous repetition. This is the law of growth. You must act before you feel ready. You must start while your hands still shake, while your voice still wavers, while your doubts still echo. Because confidence is not a requirement for movement. It is the result. It is the trophy at the end of your action, not the permission at the beginning. And yet so many people wait. They wait to feel brave. They wait to feel sure. And in their waiting, the opportunity fades. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they never moved. Think of a blacksmith at his forge. The first strike of the hammer is uncertain. His aim is clumsy. The sparks fly, but the metal barely bends. Yet he strikes again and again. Over time, his arms grow steadier. The steel begins to yield, and suddenly, there's rhythm, there's power, there's control. That's what confidence feels like. Not a single bold moment, but a rhythm of persistence. The first strike is fear. The 100th is strength. Now stop and picture yourself. Think about the thing you've been postponing, the decision you've been delaying, the work you keep preparing for, but never beginning. You tell yourself you're not ready. You tell yourself you need more clarity, more knowledge, more courage. But what if you acted anyway? What if you treated your hesitation as the very reason to begin? What if the next step wasn't a risk, but a signal, a declaration that you are done waiting? Of course, fear will be there. That's the point. Fear is not your enemy. It's your training partner. It sharpens you. You do not banish fear by avoiding it. You silence it by proving it wrong. Confidence belongs to those who walk through fear and earn the right to feel strong. It is not the privilege of the lucky. It is the reward of the brave. Start small. Take one meaningful step today. Something difficult, something real, something that scares you, even slightly. Do it before you feel certain. Then do it again tomorrow. Stack these wins. Stack them high and stack them daily. Because confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you build. And if you do this long enough, you won't need to chase confidence anymore. It will no longer be a feeling you hope to have. It will live in your spine, in your hands, in your breath. It will guide your voice when you speak, your stride when you walk, and your choices when the world offers you less than you deserve. Because you earned it, not with perfection, not with applause, but with bold, imperfect, relentless action. Success requires silent preparation. The loudest victories are not born in applause. They are forged in silence. Not the glamorous kind of silence people pretend to enjoy, but the gritty, disciplined solitude that demands your full presence when no one else is watching. It's easy to dream when the crowd is cheering. It's easy to post your goals, speak of your ambition, and collect approval like coins in a jar. But those things do not make you victorious. Noise doesn't build legacy. Work does. Quiet, consistent, often unseen work. The truth is harsh but freeing. It's not the spotlight that shapes your destiny. It's what you do in the shadows. It's the early mornings you wake before the sun because your vision won't let you rest. It's the long nights you spend learning, refining, repeating, while the world sleeps and forgets to care. These are the moments that matter, not the interviews, not the accolades, but the decision to rise when no one would notice if you didn't. People crave results. They hunger for recognition, for the world to validate their ambition. But few want the loneliness it takes to become great. Few want the grind without glory. Few want to train without the camera. But this is the price. This is the tax of transformation. And the man who pays it in full, without shortcuts, without applause, he becomes undeniable. Think of the composer, hunched over his desk by flickering candlelight. No crowd, no piano concert, no promises. Just paper, ink, silence, and a sound in his mind that won't let him quit. Note by note, hour by hour, he carves music into existence. And when the world finally hears it, they call it brilliance. But the brilliance was born in his solitude, and that solitude was his strength. Now think about your life. Strip away the noise. Strip away the audience. Strip away the validation. What's left? What are you doing with your unseen hours? Are you using them to build, to read, to refine your skills? Shallow comparison. The honest answer matters more than you realize. You might say, but no one sees what I'm doing. Good, that's the test. Because if you only give your best when someone's watching, you'll always be a slave to validation. You'll never know what you're truly capable of. But if you learn to work in silence, if you learn to thrive in obscurity, you become powerful. Because then you're no longer performing, you're becoming. Greatness is built in the shadows, not because greatness hides, but because it grows before it reveals itself. Like roots beneath the surface, your habits, your repetitions, your unseen efforts, they're building strength. And when the curtain finally rises, it won't be your words that carry you. It'll be those invisible hours. That discipline you kept when no one clapped for you. That decision to keep going when no one cared. So go ahead, retreat into yourself. Find a room, find your rhythm, and build. Turn down the volume of the world and turn up the intensity of your focus. While others post about success, prepare for it. While others wait for permission, train in private. Don't fear the silence. It's sacred. It's where identity is sharpened. It's where doubt is confronted. It's where real confidence is born. And when your moment arrives, and it will, you won't need to explain yourself. You won't need to prove anything. Your presence will carry weight. Your results will do the talking. Because silence does not mean weakness. Silence means preparation. And the most powerful ones are often those who were underestimated until they could no longer be ignored. So rise before the noise. Stay up after it fades. Give the quiet your best, because in that quiet you are becoming. Not for attention, not for approval, but because you owe it to the future version of yourself who will one day step into the light. And be ready. Discipline is the ultimate proof of belief. You can say you believe in yourself. You can declare it out loud. You can write it down in bold ink in your journal and repeat it every morning like a mantra. But belief, true belief, is not proven in what you say. It is revealed in what you do. Your discipline is the real evidence of your faith in yourself. Because discipline says, I believe in the future I've chosen, and I'm willing to suffer a little now to build it. Most people talk about goals. They dream vividly, they even make plans, but when the alarm rings early, they roll over. When discomfort appears, they back off. They say they want success, but they won't keep a schedule. They say they want influence, but their mornings are chaotic. They say they want greatness, but they compromise it with daily habits of laziness and delay. And so their belief, loud as it may sound, is empty, because belief without discipline is just noise. The truth is, real belief is quiet. It's in the routine. It's in what you do when nobody is watching. It's in the 10,000th step that no one will applaud. You may not always feel powerful, but discipline gives you proof that you are. Not because the task was easy, but because you showed up when everything in you wanted to stop. Think of the soldier who wakes before dawn to train. Wind, heat, cold, it doesn't matter. He sharpens his blade, perfects his steps, pushes his body past comfort, not for applause, but because he knows that when the battle arrives, hesitation is death. His discipline isn't rooted in motivation. It's built on belief. Not belief in today, but belief in what must be ready tomorrow. His discipline is an act of faith. It says, I will be ready, no matter what. Now look at your own life, your morning, your night, your patterns between. What story do they tell? What truth do they reveal? Do your actions prove that you believe in where you're going, or do they quietly whisper that you doubt it? Because your routine